It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley. All right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah. James J.C. Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Before we do anything, Todd, I want to get all of the platforms locked in at the same time. So let's do it.
Your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I hope everybody having a wonderful day. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I tell you, we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. We're going to talk about a topic that's in my book, Country Boy, City Boy Journey That Ain't Over Yet. And we talk about this topic. It's going to be called Look, Listen, and Learn, because many times we do not grasp all of the things that we need to clearly understand, to clearly learn, to clearly move forward, and clearly just put ourselves in a space where we are going to be successful at whatever we are doing. So Michelle will be joining us shortly after that, but I wrote that based on a couple of classes that I had during my college career, and because I felt that I was one of those people that didn't always grasp things because I did not see, like the professor or someone teaching or telling or inspiring you. I did not get the value out of those things because I thought I knew everything. Many times we learn by sight by looking and understanding what is being shared with us. And many people learn that way, so that's one of the ways that I learned. And I believe that it's so necessary to give people an opportunity to convey themselves when you are talking with them. So that's so important right there. So, um, but we are going to continue to do those things. And I tell you what, I want to play a quick segment of a commercial that I believe that we have to have because it requires an attitude. Sometimes, attitude, commitment, and enthusiasm means so much. So, but that's what we're going to talk about today. And Michelle is going to join us shortly. But here we go.
Really get a chance to know. A stands for attitude, commitment, and enthusiasm. Let's talk about the A, attitude. A lot of times we are confronted with things or in situations, and we often react because we're not, for one thing, walking around with the right attitude where we get an opportunity to think. Attitude will make or break you. Most of the time, the first thing, depending on where you're at with your attitude, you want to react. You want to hit. You want to say something. You want to do the first thing that come to your mind. We all have this split second where we can think about it. Somebody bump into you or said something, we can think about it. I need to dream big, think big, and be big. Be big is not in statue. It's in heart and it's in mind. You don't always have to react when you're confronted with a negative situation. Let me talk about the C in ACE. The C stands for commitment. What does the C stand for? What does the C stand for? In order to be committed to anything, you must be committed to yourself. And what I mean by committed to yourself, you must be committed to you telling the truth, you being honest with yourself, regardless what it is. Enthusiasm, just like I mentioned to you, is being excited. Just being excited just because you was able to wake up this morning. I mean, I'm excited. I woke up, the good Lord gave me another day. I'm happy. That's what I'm happy about it, and I'm gonna walk around. I cannot be walking around mad at the world or pissed off about something or mommy wouldn't let me do that, daddy. Say they did all these things. I'm just so, come on. Put that energy toward a positive thing. Just like Michelle Obama said, when they swing low, you what? Attitude, commitment, and enthusiasm. Thank you so much.
So as I was saying, look, listen, and learn sometimes requires us to adjust our attitude, have commitment inside of us that we can learn and we can do anything that we set our mind to. But also, most importantly, be enthusiastic about everything that you do. If you're not excited about doing it, well, since you're doing it, I mean, because you're not going to make a difference in anyone's life if you're not excited about the thing that you choose to do. So always, just like I mentioned earlier, always learn to look, listen, and learn. How you doing, Michelle? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Oh, I got rid of those technical problems, so I'm on the show. I'm really excited about the topic today. Look, listen, and learn. This is actually one of the chapters in your book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet. But we're taking it to not only in that level, but at even broader levels. So we're really going to talk about look, listen, and learn. So look, observing beyond the surface, listening, the power of paying attention, learn. What do you think learn is?
Learn can be encompassed in many, many ways. Just like I mentioned earlier, we can learn by looking. We can certainly learn by listening, and we can learn just by observing. So a lot of people have different ways that they grasp all of this in. One shoe don't fit all.
Exactly.
So it's so many different ways out there that we can learn, and I think that we should.
Well, let's start with look. Look is basically, it can mean so many things, but it's an observation for growth, for personal growth or professional growth. So let's start with, paying close attention to your surroundings. It could be whether you're walking, it could be any, a public event, but also your surroundings at work from a professional level. Pay a close attention to your surroundings to help you avoid mistakes. Now, I'm gonna pose this question to you, James. What does that mean to you, paying a close to your surroundings in a personal level and as far as a professional level?
First of all, we live in a strange world where, from just like you mentioned, just walking around sometimes, if we don't pay attention and crossing the street and we don't look both ways and all those type of things, a lot of bad things could happen because we fail to observe. Observance means to me this everything that you do, you have to be able to see some of the things around you in order to make the right decisions on the things that we do. So learning to observe your surroundings is so important. Learning to always have the right mindset when things are not always going the way that you expect them to do. But I believe that if you have the right mindset in some ways, that will help keep you focused. And it's just things that innate in us that we learn just by being born, by growing up, by the family that you're born within. And so all of those things are so important when it comes to look as I put it in the book, because observance is so important. And we will learn from that where we are able to, it just becomes secondary in a lot of things that we do. But getting back to what I said, we have to have the right attitude. We can't be mad at everything that happens to us, what happens to you. We have to be able to push certain things off so we are able to adjust and see our surroundings. That's what I said, in order to see our surroundings.
Oh, most definitely. So, it's important as far as when it comes to your personal professional growth by observing your own habits and reaction. Reaction is so important. And the word react and create has the same letters in it. It's just two different spellings and two different meanings. So you can learn and look and observe yourself by observing your own habits and reactions to things. From a professional and a personal perspective. So if you have a habit, let's say, which I admit I'm guilty of, I get so excited, I want to express my point of view, interrupting people when they're talking. Bad habit. So in order to grow, I have to practice the art of listening. And we're going to talk about that later on in the show. But I observe my habit when it comes to that personally and professionally in my own reactions. Sometimes it's always good to stay silent. Even if you want to scream, yell, suck your teeth, roll your eyes, it's all about how you react and how you realize and basically being honest with yourself. What are your thoughts on that, James?
Well, we're going to take a station break right now, but we're going to come back because I'm going to have to really explain the create and react. You kind of got it right. I'll tell you what, whichever platform that you are watching us All you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Come on.
A black man.
Doctor, James, JC, Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural Deep South town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Welcome to Veridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Veridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at VeridianChristianUniversity.com.
Hey, it's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
JC, Cooley.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And what we're talking about is a section of my book, Country Boy, City Boy Journey, that ain't over yet. And we're talking about look, listen, and learn. It's so much that it entails when it comes to the way that we learn, the way that we act, the way we treat others, the way that we do things, our beliefs, everything associated with that comes with, I believe, sight, listening, and learning from all of those things. One thing Michelle was talking about toward the end, she talked about create and react. Create and react. Same letters, but they mean two different things. From a create perspective, I think that's vision, understanding, and focus. When we're confronted with a situation, circumstances, if we're using the create side of that, we have an opportunity to sit back and think about how we are going to react to that. Because if you just react, immediately 9 out of 10 times you make the wrong decision. So that's important to understand that you have to be able to see the big picture and everything, not just a little bit of pieces or things, but being able to recognize the complete picture. What are your thoughts on that, Michelle?
Oh, I totally agree with that. I do believe that you have to open yourself to actually see what's the reality, not what you want to see. And that goes into my point of looking at the bigger picture when making life's decisions. It's easy to make this decision and at the spur of the moment, but there has to be some thought into it. You see, sometimes people are narrow-minded and they see what they want to see, or they see a temporary solution. But when you look at the bigger picture, how things can turn out, that is so important, especially making a decision professionally or personally. Professionally, and in order for growth, professionally wise, you think about yourself, oh, should I take this job? Should I not? They pay more money, but look at the bigger picture. What does more money entail? And James, as you have told me, more money requires more responsibility. So it's always good to look at the bigger picture when you're making decisions, regardless if it's a personal decision or a professional decision. What are your thoughts on that?
No, of course. But it's nothing wrong with taking risks with more responsibility. I love more responsibility, but yes, it's if you're just looking at just the money portion of it, you might not be in the right field. You might not be doing the right thing, because your happiness means a lot in order for your survival, your family, your sanity. All of those things are very important. So looking at the bigger picture, or anything that we decide to do, from a vision, understanding, focused perspective, we have to also understand what some of the consequences could be in that, because everything is not always going to be shiny, pennies in your pocket, or easy road. There's going to be some bumps in there, and we have to be able to foresee some of the challenges that we might occur, and have a game plan on how you're going to address those things. So that is so important to always do that. Another thing that's important, Michelle, is empathy for others. Understand others' needs, understands others' wants, understand that everybody might not be feeling the same way at the time. We all are different. And we have to be able, from a looking perspective, we have to be able to pay attention to others, because you can see a person that might be down, might be ready to do something crazy, and you go over there and you see it because you were looking, and you pat, what can I do to make your day? What can I do to bring a smile to your face? All of those things are important when we're talking about look, listen, and learn. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I definitely agree with what you're saying. That's where we come to our next topic of look. We start with look. Now it's about listening. Listening is so important. Hearing with intention. There's a difference between hearing someone and truly listening to them. In my opinion, listening, reading between the lines, not what you want to hear, what the person is truly saying. Whether they're telling a falsehood or not, really listen to their tone, how they say it, what exactly they're saying. So the difference, in my opinion, between hearing someone is, okay, if we can hear them speak, we can hear their noise, we can hear what they're saying. But in your mind, you're thinking, wow, I can't wait till this person finishes up so I can say my statement. You're not listening to them. You're just hearing them, and you just can't wait to make your point. Listening, hearing with intention of understanding what the other person is saying is truly important. It is great for making informed decisions. What are you hearing? What are you listening to? So it's important to listen before speaking, especially in emotionally charged situations. So what are your thoughts between hearing someone, James, and actually listening to them? Let's say long time ago when you were in the military, or even as a young man before going into the military, did you learn later on in life, or when you got into the military, what it truly means to listen to someone as opposed to hearing?
I believe that we continually learn, from the day that we're born. And as we grow up as a child, adolescence, a young man, young woman, as you grow and as you progress, it's so important that we learn the art of listening. First of all, respect. When someone is talking and we cut them off, we're not listening to them, we're not going to understand exactly what they're trying to convey. So to answer your question, it's every phase of life we have to continue that progress to learn and to understand that everybody has purpose. What they're saying means something to them, might mean something to you. Now, I do know that a lot of people that I have ran across, I can just sit back and listen to them for the first 2-3 minutes. I know if they are lying, whatever that is, that they're trying to convey or trying to be the big man or big woman on the campus. So, but all of those things are learned. And like I always say, we should listen. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we still speak, but he gave us 2 ears to listen more. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I definitely agree with what you're saying. It's a hard skill to learn to really listen. It really is. It's a really hard skill to learn because everyone seems to want to get their point across. And like I said, it is definitely a skill. So in your opinion, hearing, not listening, truly listening, why do you think so many people have issues with that?
Well, I believe that they want to be heard and they don't want to hear what the other person have to say. So they have a problem with that. Plus the mindset sometimes I believe might not be focused. Imposter syndrome, want to pretend like you are more than what you are. So if you feel that you can just keep talking and talking and talking, that's going to make people believe in you more. It's a whole lot of different things that contribute to people not wanting to just sit back, listen, and understand others. And there are key things in that, Michelle, where if you don't listen, you're not going to pick up the piece that's so important that you might miss. So important to the well-being of oneself, the well-being of you, if you was at a job interview or something like that, whatever that is in life. So it's important that we understand that we need to listen. Our turn will come, and whatever we're doing.
Yes, most definitely. So do you have any other thoughts about listening?
Well, I have a whole lot of thoughts about listening, but we're going to take a break. Because, this topic need to be talked about a lot more. And we need to understand that listening is just a big piece of look, listen, and learn. So whichever platform that you're watching this on, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments on your platform, ask any question that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after this.
Your life. That's right. Dr. J.
At Veridian Christian University.
The future is here.
Now is the time to pursue the greatness in you. Welcome to Veridian Christian University, where faith meets future. We are a fully accredited, 100% online Christian university. We offer bachelor's degree, master's and doctorate degree programs, built for students like you. Affordable tuitions, 30+ degree programs, 100% online and flexible. Integrating faith with learning. Study from anywhere at your pace. At VCU, we do not just prepare you for a degree. We prepare you for purpose. Discover who you are, grow in faith, and build a future that impacts the world.
Are you ready to start your journey today?
Visit www.veridianchristianuniversity.com.
Apply today and be among the global leaders.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
This is a must listen for anyone who thinks they're stuck in life or needs to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by Dr. James Cooley on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Check it out. Your life with Dr.
Hello. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And I tell you what, Michelle and I, we're talking about a chapter in my book called Look, Listen, and Learn. That's come from Country Boy, City Boy Journey that ain't over yet. And I tell you, it's important, I believe, that we understand and master all three other L's. The 3 L's is what I call it. Todd, what are your thoughts on this so far? Okay. Todd, Todd is not there. So
I'm sorry, James. What was the question?
I said, what are your thoughts on this conversation so far?
Well, it's an important topic, and you and Michelle are doing a good job covering it. But something you got to reflect on, and you gotta move forward with it.
Got to move forward with it. So Michelle, you have mentioned something prior to leaving, and I tell you, when you learn to look and listen more, it builds better relationships with others. It builds better relationship in a marriage. It builds better relationships in families, especially with your kids. It builds better relationship with anyone you come in touch with. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, it definitely builds relationships, because it makes you be seen as a person who wants to really understand where another person is coming from, whether personally or professionally. And it helps you grow as a person, because any decision you make, you have to really think about what someone has expressed to you, has communicated to you, not what you think they said, but what they actually said. And you can have a discerning spirit where you can read between the lines, and that's great. But it's just so important to, in order any major decisions or any decisions in life, to really hear what was actually being said, not in your own mind or what you think they said. I'll give you a case in point. So, people lie all the time. So if you're listening to someone and they're telling you a falsehood, listen to what they're saying. A person should be calm enough and alert enough to decipher what is actually being said to them, whether on a professional level or personal level, and then you can make up your own mind. If I tell you this is silly, but if I say, James, I want hamburgers tonight and some broccoli on the side, and you decide to fix me a steak and some salad, you heard me, but you really didn't listen to me. It could be something as trivial as that. So listening is definitely an important skill. And we encourage everyone to hone those skills when it comes to listening. Now, the third one, learning, is adapting and growing.
Well, we're not there yet.
Well,
we still on listening because.
Okay, I'm going to let you have the platform for listening.
It's so important. You mentioned a professional environment. I can remember a lot of times in a company or in the military where I was at the top. Had lots of folks working for me. I could have sit back and just talked all, never doing a whole meeting myself. But you gain that respect when you allow, when it's not just from the top down, but it's from the bottom up, because your team or division or whoever that you are in charge of, they have watched you. They pretty much know your objectives based on the goals of the company, the military, etc. But in order for you to be better as a leader, you have to listen to them because they might have some great ideas that they can share with you on how to make things better. So that is so important that we understand that everybody matters, regardless of where you at in the organization, whether you the commanding officer of the unit as in the military, or whether you the janitor in an organization or company or something like that. Everybody's part of the team, and by listening to them, you learn from them, and they learn from you, and that creates, I think, a better environment to work in. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what you were just saying, since you were in the United States military, United States Navy, how did good listening skills make you an effective leader?
Well, first of all, if you're not listening to your bosses, well, you don't have a problem because you're not going to be able to carry out their missions. If you're not listening to your troops, you're not going to be able to understand them, what their needs are. The wants are there, but you have to understand what their need in order, to grow professionally, in order to be productive in their jobs, and ensuring that they are understanding that they are doing a great job. If they are doing a great job, you have to be able to let them know, because once you build that cohesiveness with a team, whether it's in the military or a company, you want that to be there, because then people would go above and beyond the things that they would do to make sure that you are successful in whatever you're doing. So just like I said, it just does not come from top down. It comes from bottom up, and everybody have to be able to communicate with each other in order for us to strive.
Wow. Powerful words. Now
Yes.
we're down to learn, adapting and growing. It is so important. You've talked about this. It is so important to continue learning. I'm not talking from a educational perspective, but also of a life perspective. And that helps you grow and not stay stagnant where you are. Learning brings out discoveries about yourself that you did not even realize that were there. I remember when I got before I got my master's degree, you always encouraged me to go and get one. And I knew one of the requirements is to write papers, and I didn't think I was good at it, right? But finally, I went and got my master's, and I had a love for writing papers. But the point I'm trying to say is that I grew by continuous learning to do things that are uncomfortable for me, learning that I had a skill set that I didn't even realize that I possessed. And it's always good to learn, whether, on your job, to not just stay stagnant, to learn about what other departments are doing, especially the why you're doing things, the why. You could be robotic and just do what someone tells you to do. And I understand everyone has a higher up, a manager, boss, and they're supposed to do what they're supposed to do. But it's also understanding that, why am I doing this? What is the end goal? What is the end result? What is the vision for why we do what we do? If you don't know, and you've been working there for who knows how long, what do you do? What does your company do? What is your position? Why is it important? I don't know, then you're not growing. You're not growing, and you're not learning, not even about what your job, what you're capable of, what you're doing, but you're not looking at the bigger picture. And what are your thoughts, James, about learning to grow, not just only on an educational level, but that includes that as well?
Well, no, you have to grow in every phase of your life. Academically, I think that's important. It all depends on what job and what career field that you're in. But growing in life, understanding, as we season, that's what I call it. As we become more seasoned, we have to be able to adapt and grow and learn, because technology is going to always be moving. And if we're not learning the different technologies that are out there, and if we're still in the workforce, we're not going to be able to maintain a job, because you got robots and AI, and you got everything that's taken over. So it's important that you grow in all three phases. But both phases is academically, mentally, and physically, and spiritually. So that's important that we continue to grow in all those phases. But Michelle, we're going to take another break. Mm-hmm. But we're going to come back, and we're going to pick this up from here. But I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether it's E360 television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and over 80 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you're listening to us on the radio and you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
It's your life. Dr. J.C. Cooley. Yeah.
At Veridian Christian University, At Veridian Christian University, we believe education is more than just a degree. It's a pathway to a purpose-driven life. Whether you're advancing your career, pursuing a passion, or building a new future, VCU's 100% online programs give you the flexibility to learn on your terms, anywhere, anytime. With expert faculty, personalized mentorship, and a faith-centered approach, you'll gain the skills, knowledge, and leadership you need to make a lasting impact. VCU offers bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, each designed to empower you for success in today's fast-changing world. Join a global community of believers, learners, and leaders. Ready to start your journey? Veridian Christian University, transforming lives, empowering futures. Visit us at VeridianChristianUniversity.com. That's VeridianChristianUniversity.com.
In this life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real into a strong tree. To be who you're created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. Oh yeah. It's the 4 C's.
James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep south town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Now hear this. It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we're talking about look, listen, and learn. And again, this is one of the chapters in my book, Country Boy, City Boy, Journey That Ain't Over Yet. And I wrote that because I think it's so important that we have an understanding. That's how we grow. That's how we adapt. That's how we learn. And we have to be able to teach and train ourselves to understand that, so this is so important that we are doing right now. We're talking about adapting and growing. And Michelle, you had asked a question prior to the break, is how do we continue to adapt and grow? And I think the answer is we have to grow physically, mentally, emotionally, especially spiritually. All of those things are so important to what one believes, how they think, what their thoughts are, and how they move forward and changing situations as the world is moving pretty fast with technology. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I definitely think that's important. I mean, I know a lot of people, we consider ourselves old school and we don't want to learn certain things. And old school is great, but you also have to know who you're dealing with. Now, there are people who don't want to learn and adapt because they're set in their ways and there's not really anything you can do about it. But those who maybe are not set in their ways and they're open to new ideas, new opinions, new ways to do things, they should open their mind to adapt and to grow with change. We can't, like, for instance, AI is here and it's here to stay. We have to adapt and learn about it. And, without going into details, there's some things on a personal level we use AI for. And it's really, you have to, review what you're using it for. But it is very, very helpful, very knowledgeable. But at the same time, it doesn't negate a person from growing and educating themselves without depending on the use of new technology. So I think that's where it kind of separates, is that you have to, not you have to, you would, it's advisable to grow and to learn, because the world is passing by. No one's going to wait around for you. No one is going to wait around for you. On a professional level, education wise, if you want to grow into a certain position and the requirements are for, let's say, this degree or this certification, this qualification, this experience, if you truly, truly in your heart want this role, that you got to do whatever it takes based on the requirements that are being communicated in order to obtain that. If you don't, then, well, you can't. Wishing is nice, but you can't wish a position for you if you're not going to do the work in order to get it, if you truly want that. What are your thoughts, James, about doing the work to achieve the goal that you want? And that's what every entrepreneur does out there. They want to open this type of business. They want to open this type of service, but they have to do the work. They have to grow. They have to spend hours. It's not just a 9 to 5. They have to talk to successful people or people who are probably in the same industry and see what's out there. What are your thoughts about, exceeding your limits and learning and expanding your knowledge if you want to grow in a business or a nonprofit or just anything in life?
First of all, I'm going to go back to what you said about people, they get stuck in their own ways. Change is going to happen. And in order for you to grow, in order for you to be successful in a lot of things, you have to be able to keep up with the change in technology. So it doesn't matter if you're stuck in your ways. Time going to pass you by, because there's two formulas for change: current behavior plus vision equals change. There's another formula for change: current behavior plus intolerable pain equals change. You're either going to change with the brain or you're going to change with pain. So, because technology is not going to sit around and wait on you. And just like I had mentioned earlier, for people that are not educating themselves, getting an understanding of a lot of manual labor jobs are going to go away because they got robots and they got AI, they got all these things out here. But if you take a couple of classes, learn computer classes, AI classes, whatever that is, you can kind of keep up with society and be there and be able to adapt to those changes and stay employed. But it's going to require some work on your part. And you mentioned something about wishing, like wishing on a star. I mean, we all dream, we all do those things, but we have to put some skin in the game. We have to be part of the game. I mean, dreaming, yeah, if you do the right things, God bless us sometimes, my dream come true. If you don't do anything, well, just like I said, you can change with the brain or you can change with pain. What are your thoughts?
I agree with that. I mean, me and you talk every day. Well, of course, we're married, but when we discuss, things that we may want to do in a personal, professional aspect, but we set things in motion and we figure out the best way to do it. But we learn on the best way to do it. And it's not a rush job. It's like, okay, what is the output? What is the bigger picture that we want? So we have to educate ourselves on, whether it's, the best painter to hire to paint your house, or to educate ourselves on, doing a speaking tour, let's say. Just little things. It's, like I said, the world is passing by and they're not going to wait for you. Personal growth, learning more about yourself, educating yourself, it shows things and exposes things that you didn't even know what was in you, what you can do.
Well,
So,
you're absolutely right. We're down to about the last minute of the show. But what we talked about today was look, listen, and learn. Each one of those, I think, plays a major role in the things that we do in order to stay ahead of the game and also continue to learn. Adapting is so important. And I tell you what, 30 seconds or less, what are your closing remarks, Michelle?
my closing remarks is look, listen, and learn. 3 key aspects to a successful life. If you feel that you're lacking in certain things, then take that deep breath and just
do it.
Remind yourself of your,
Yeah. I'd like to thank Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely outstanding show. I'd like to thank my producers in San Diego, Todd Pirate, and also Dallas. I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. Eastern. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life.
Your life. That's right. It's your life.